Wildcats for the second consecutive weekend in SEC action. This is the SEC opener, coach, for Mississippi State. One of the quirks of SEC softball.
Yeah, you know, Kentucky had an unbelievable opening weekend in Columbia, really dominated South Carolina, swept those 3 games, and Coach Lawson really felt like for the first time all season, despite the tough schedule they had played, they had all phases of the game clicking, and the big reason was Autumn Humes as he gets the start in the circle this evening. The reigning SEC pitcher of the week. You're going to see a drop, rise, curve combination. She does have an effective off-speed pitch. And most important, Coach Lawson says she's one of the most competitive pitchers in the circle for the Cats.
And she is going to have to keep that ball down tonight, especially to Mia Davidson, because the wind is howling out there beyond the outfield fence. It's going to come down to which pitcher can keep the other team in the ballpark tonight.
Oh, it is. Wind blowing straight out. Mississippi State comes in, a very powerful offense. You get a look at their lineup right there. So does Kentucky. Something's got to give. You kind of get the feeling whoever squares the ball up the best is going to win this ball game.
Well, the numbers 2 and 3 hitters are 2 of the top home run hitters. They've combined for 26 home runs so far this season. So we'll see which team can take advantage of the elements and play through this cold weather. It says 43 degrees. It feels a lot chillier. So we're up here sitting. They're down there moving around, staying warm, Coach. But you coach in weather like this. It can be a mental block, can it not?
Far too many games in weather like this. And it's really the wind, Dick. It's you know, the temperature, neither here nor there, but the wind is really howling tonight. Very important to stay loose, keep moving.
Emily Heimberger to lead things off, a senior. Looks at ball 1, and we are underway at John Kropp Stadium. Emily batting .265. You see a South Carolina native our senior rather, and 5 doubles, a triple. She's knocked in 11 and stolen 9 bases. Nobody's caught her yet this year, and Humes gets that outside edge. That's going to be, she wants to live there tonight, doesn't she?
Oh, she sure does, and why not against Heimberger? Heimberger is a triple threat. She can bunt her way on base, she can slap, she can power slap. She's a very difficult hitter to defend. Corners crashing for the Wildcats defensively. She swings right through it, though, but there's Katie Reed with a quick throw, and there's one out. I'll show you the way the Wildcats are playing defense tonight, as Mia Davidson makes her way to the plate. There you see across the outfield Bailey Vick, Kaya Kowalik, Sarah Rainwater around the horn. Cheek, you just met Katie Reed, Alex Martins, Mallory Payton, the great Jenny Shaper behind the plate. What a year she's having offensively. And now Mia Davidson. You talk about a threat. Even when she's not hitting home runs, she's getting on base. You know, really made a name for herself last year as a freshman in the SEC and has built upon that success as a sophomore. You know, she comes up to bat, you sit up a little higher in your seat. You just anticipate something's going to happen.
Hits it hard, but there's Reed again. But too much speed for Mia Davidson, an infield single. What do we just say? She finds a way on. That's why she's batting only .548.
Yeah, and we're top 5 in the country in on-base percentage, you know, between her walks, singles like this. Katie Reed makes a nice play, hustles over, gets to the ball, but 2 balls on the ground too long. When the ball's on the ground, it allows Davidson to hustle down the line. You see she's moving quickly, calls herself safe, and then the umpire does as well.
So now Fa'alelua, the designated player, and again a home run threat for Mississippi State. 12 bombs so far this year. Surprisingly, just 1 double, so it's all or nothing when it comes to extra base hits, but a total of 27 base hits on the year, second to Miss Davidson. And a slugging percentage of just .889.
This part of the lineup for Mississippi State, so dangerous. Heimberger sets the table. Cats got her out tonight, but Davidson, Leilua, just power, and Coach Van Studeman, you know, smartly stacks them together. She knows that's the best chance she has to get a lot of runs on the board.
375 average. Mississippi State off to a great start this year, like Kentucky, 19-5, but this is conference opener for the Bulldogs. This is the first time State has traveled to Lexington to kick off the SEC, the 3rd consecutive year that Mississippi State has opened conference play on the road. ran it in on her. Reed going out, coming on is Kowalik. She'll make the grab, and that's something else the outfielders have to deal with tonight, Coach, that wind knocking the ball around.
Oh, any fly ball is an adventure this evening. If you're on the offense, you hit a fly ball, you're hustling all the time anyway, but tonight, you never know what's going to happen. You can see the flag swirling. It's windy. Reed goes out hard. Much easier play for Kowalik coming in on the ball. Good communication by the Cats.
Absolutely. That's going to be key tonight for both teams. You got a good look at the flags. They've been like that since early this afternoon as Pat Moore stands in. Looks at strike one. And again, a good pitch by Humes. And like we said, Coach said it's not that cold, but when you factor in the wind that's beating those flags around, it gets to be pretty chilly, kind of bone chilling actually. And again, Humes finds the outer edge.
Well, you're facing a power hitting team. A lot of times you want to work away from that power, force them to go to the opposite field, but Mississippi State has put up numbers all season long, especially in this top 5 hitters, top part of the order.
Moore with 4 triples on the year. Humes with a big strikeout. And a good start for the Wildcats. They give up the infield single, but Kentucky will go to the bottom of the first after a scoreless frame from Mississippi State on the SEC Network. After a scoreless top of the first, the Wildcats make their way to the plate here in Lexington. Dick Gabriel, Carroll Bruggeman at John Kropp Stadium, and there is the starting pitcher tonight for Mississippi State, the left-hander Grace Fagan. She's got to be used to weather like this coming from New Jersey. 3-2 record on the year, 34 2/3. She has struck out 31, but she's facing Jenny Shaper right now, and Coach, she is one of the hottest hitters in the country as well.
And Shaper moved to that leadoff spot, hit a couple home runs there this past week, and she's going to face a freshman pitcher in Grace Fagan. You're going to see good spin and movement on the ball. Van Studeman's very excited about her freshman pitcher. Says she's got a lot of talent, a lot of upside, and just couldn't rant and rave enough about her yesterday in visiting with her. Thinks that she's going to be a very special pitcher before her career is over at Mississippi State.
Shaper with a 2-home run game earlier this week, including a grand slam, 5 on the year. Right now, Fagan struggling. Now, conversely, Autumn Humes had a great half inning, 10 pitches, 9 strikes, and that means her teammates got off the field quickly and got back to the heaters, right?
Oh, it sure did. Very efficient inning for Humes, and I tell you what it does, it keeps your defense in the game and keeps them loose, keeps them warm.
There's a good look at the Kentucky offense, and Wildcats off to a good start with the leadoff batter reaching. So Shaper draws a walk for just the 8th time this year. He's only attempted 1 steal, has done that successfully. Now wearing number 99, Kayla Kowalik, and there's a good look at Rachel Lawson in her 12th year as the Kentucky coach, winningest coach in UK history.
Well, not surprised there to see Fagan with a leadoff walk, simply because she's a freshman. This is her first SEC game of her career. Even though she's pitched quite a few innings this year, it's different, no matter what you say. So a little bit of nerves there, very atypical of Fagan with the leadoff walk.
And falls behind Kowalik. In fact, Fagan is yet to throw a strike, and here her teammates come to try to settle her down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure they're giving her, same advice, giving her a little shot of confidence. Hey, let's attack these hitters. And a night like this, it's tough to swing the bat. You cast your hands out on an inside pitch, you're feeling it for 3 innings. And so you want to pound that zone, force the hitters to create some action. And at the same time, it is important for these pitchers to extend the plate because both of these teams have high-powered offenses.
But she's gone 2-1 now on Kowalik. Good movement on that last pitch as she gets the outer edge, running it away from the right-hander. Kowalik with 7 doubles, 3 triples. They play her to go the other way, of course, being a slapper in the outfield, but there's a big hole in right center field, and she takes strike 2. So Fagan fighting back now after that little bitty conference.
And they've done their homework. They know Kowalik hits to the left side of the field. They're also pitching her to the outside part of the plate, trying to feed that side of the field.
Just underway here in Lexington. Mississippi State put a runner on first in the top of the first inning, but Autumn Humes came back and settled everybody down, and Wildcats put the leadoff runner on board via walk. That's Jenny Shaper at first base. Grace Fagan now with a big pitch here. Did she go? No, she did not. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Doesn't hurt to ask if you're behind the plate, if you're the catcher. I always love it when players wear atypical numbers like 99. Full count. Could be 2. Nope. That's the first error of the game as the Bulldogs' Bevia Robinson got a little too excited, rushed her throw to Emily Heimberger, and now instead of at least 1 out, Coach, you got first and second, nobody out.
Yeah, Bevia Robinson gets over there quickly, has plenty of time. You see, she stands up. The ball's on the ground. She's got a short throw. Would have loved to have seen her stay in her legs there a little lower. Finish to the base. She's out of position. And that results in an error. And in this type of game where the offenses are very powerful, those outs are valuable. You don't want to give the other team, as Mississippi State did here, another out.
And now a dangerous hitter at the plate, Abby Cheek. We've talked so much about Mia Davidson, but Abby Cheek, one of, if not the greatest power hitter in UK history, already owns the career record for runs batted in. She's close to the home run record. And a lot of time to try to break it, a .459 average, 5 home runs. Fagan drops in a strike. And again, give Grace Fagan credit for battling back from a 2-0 count, got the ground ball she wanted on that last play. Now a long look into the Bulldog dugout. First and second, nobody out. And Abby Cheek drops one down, foot race. Got her. Nicely done by Selrai New.
Abby Cheek showing you why she's in the top 10 in the country in on-base percentage. She can do it all. Walks, home runs, and, oh, by the way, a sacrifice bunt that almost turns into a base hit. Excellent bunt, gets it down the first time, catches Mississippi State off guard a little bit. Excellent play by New, hustles to the ball, gets it up and out of her glove in time.
Interesting that both power hitters for each team showing good wheels here in the first inning as Alex Martin steps up with a .309 average. She also with 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Had a good round of BP before the game. And the Kentucky Indoor Hitting Cage, great facility here at John Kropp Stadium. 2 in scoring position with 1 out. Fagan takes a little something off that one. Jumps out, no balls, 2 strikes. That's the first hitter who's fallen behind Fagan after she walked the leadoff batter, went to 2-0 on the next hitter.
Yeah, settling in. You can just feel her settling in pitch by pitch. Her teammates called timeout, gave her a shot of confidence when she did throw 6 balls in a row, and since then she has been pounding the strike zones, showing good command. She really has excellent spin on the ball. You can see the ball move, break quite a bit.
Freshman from Swedesboro, New Jersey, finding her way to Starkville, Mississippi. I always like looking at the rosters from all the teams around the league to see that there are no borders when it comes to recruiting in the Southeastern Conference.
No, and softball, you know, it's such a popular sport, played at such a high level all over the country, and
this has become
who wouldn't want to play in the SEC?
Right, the premier conference anymore. Or at least you could make that argument.
It has. The last 3 years, they've been #1 in terms of RPI, which is, you know, the strength of schedule across the board, top to bottom. And Pac-12 is right there with them. It's a back-and-forth battle. Arguably 2 of the best conferences in the SEC has had that nod over the last few years.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Alex Martins. Execution perfect for Mississippi State. Heimberger with a clean pickup, a good throw to Davidson. and they nail the runner at the plate.
Oh, I love the aggressiveness of Kentucky here early. Ground ball to the right side. Shaper's going hard, and Heimberger struggles a little to get it out of her glove, but throws a perfect strike to the third base side of the plate, which allows Davidson to tag easily. She's in front of the plate there. No chance for obstruction. Just an excellent, timely play for the Bulldog defense.
So we're still scoreless. Now runners at the corners with 2 out. Bulldogs trying to battle out of a tough spot here in inning number 1. Mallory Payton will try to cross things up for the Wildcats. The outfield deep to center and left. With this wind blowing out, Payton with 7 home runs. Past Bevia Robinson and into left for an RBI single, and the Wildcats take a 1-0 lead. So Mallory Payton makes sure the Wildcats don't waste the opportunity.
She's been a difference maker for the Wildcats this season. Bevier Robinson, a little slow to that ball. Would have loved to have seen her attack it more and get in front of the ball, stop it. She had to play it first or second. But Mallory Payton has been the story of the season for the Cats. Leads the team in home runs, has come through with RBIs. You see her get another one there with a 2-out RBI to get the Cats on the board.
And she's driven in 24 on the year now, second on the team. Brings up Katie Reed, a .373 average, 3 homers. Ball in the dirt. Davidson can't locate. And free bags again for the Wildcats. So now Payton at second. Martin's at third.
Kentucky's been doing this all season long. Ball in the dirt. They are not hesitating. Nope. As you see Martin's take off immediately when she sees that ball in the dirt. Davidson can't find the ball, locate it. She slides in easily.
So back to second and third now with 2 out for Katie Reed. And you see Mia Davidson trying to frame the plate to help her pitcher, but it goes 2 balls, no strikes. You know, off the bat, to your point, Coach, it looked like Robinson had a shot at least gloving the ball. Would have been a tough throw. So Grace Fagan trying to keep the ball on the ground. She's done a good job. Except for that one. Go back, look up, it's gone. Katie Reed is in a groove that you've got to admire, that players love. The ball's got to look like a watermelon to her.
You elevate the ball and get it up in the zone today as Fagan. You've seen her fall behind, comes back with a strike. This pitch is at the top of the strike zone, right in the wheelhouse for Katie Reed, and she does not miss. Keeps her hands inside the ball. 3-run shot for Katie Reed, and the Wildcats are on top big here in the top of the first.
4-0 Kentucky, and I had just talked about how Fagan had kept the ball down, but to your point, Carol, you can't make a mistake, at least right now, when you're pitching against Katie Reed. She's just seeing it too well. Sarah Rainwater pops it up, and boy, that wind pushed it away from New, but she hung in and made the grab. But a crooked number for the Wildcats in the bottom of the first. 4-0 Kentucky on the SEC Network.
Autumn Humes has been on fire, really working that outside part of the plate. Drop ball that's kind of running away from these hitters, tucking the corners, and it's been very effective. 10 pitches in the first inning, 9 strikes.
You'll take that. Transfer from Harding University in Arkansas, D2 schools, where she was National Freshman of the Year on the D2 level and second-team All-American. Transferred into Lexington, made herself known by throwing a no-hitter in her first career start against North Dakota State. First Kentucky player ever to do that. So how do you do Autumn Humes? And off to a good start tonight against Mississippi State. Now Candace Dennis to lead things off. Bulldogs put a runner on in the first, but left her there. Dennis, a junior, .438 average. A homer, 5 runs batted in. Corners crashing against the lefty. Humes just missing the outer edge. Wildcats get the 3-run home run from Katie Reed. And we've talked a lot about the wind, Carol. That's a home run in any ballpark in the SEC.
The
wind or no
wind just aided that a little bit, made it go a little further. And
that's exactly right.
You know, instead of 200 feet down the line, it went about 220 just because of the wind. But she caught all of that.
That
ball.
almost cleared. I think it hit the outer fence on a hop. And again, there you see. We're going to show you. We'll keep you up to date on how windy it is. But it has been warm and windy all week, and now it's chilly. Our luck. But players keep moving. They try to stay warm. And again, Humes making it so difficult for lefties and righties.
She's throwing the ball with a lot of velocity tonight. Just has good zip on the ball. Felt like she had that at South Carolina as well.
Yep.
Big reason she was the SEC Pitcher of the Week. But she seems to get better and better with every outing. She has rested since then. Did not pitch in any of the midweek games they had here against Miami of Ohio and Syracuse, both run rule victories for Kentucky, and Humes got to rest, showing you the depth of the Kentucky pitching staff this year. Oh, you know she's excited, ready to get out on the mound. She's been very efficient so far.
Tatum Spangler with a complete game victory over Miami. Larissa Spellman with the win over Syracuse. Wildcats put up 22 runs in those 2 games off the mitt of Humes, and that helps Alex Martins make the play. So we know you're scoring at home. That's going to go 1-4-3. Heads up play, and there you see Humes with a little grin on her face.
Little assist. This one gets a little too much of the plate. Just a nice piece of hitting by Dennis.
Yep.
Stays tight in the zone, and things going Kentucky's way with the assist going right to Martins. It's like a routine play after that.
So one out now for Carter Spexarth. She looks at strike 1. Humes staying ahead of the hitters, forcing them to play her game. Now, as Carol said, Dennis got a good rip at that last pitch. A homer, 6 runs batted in. Not only is that on the outer edge, it's down there at the knees. Mississippi State leads this series 26-30 all time. These teams played on the last weekend of the regular season in 2016, or rather in 2018. Bulldogs took the series. Last time Mississippi State was in town was 2016. Kentucky swept. 1-2 pitch. Just missed inside.
Humes showing you all of her pitches early in this game. She's working down, working a little bit up, really stretching the zone east-west, working those inside-outside corners, and been right around the zone, bit ahead of all of these hitters so far. Mississippi State taking control.
Fooled Spexarth, and Martins hauls it in. Looked like she was expecting something else. Got her bat on the ball, but an easy out. 2 down now for Sarai New. Sarai spells her name S-A-R-A-I, and her last name is N-I-U. She's a senior, batting .279. A double, 6 runs batted in on the year. And again, Humes jumps out ahead of her.
And you mentioned the spelling of her name. Very proud of her Samoan heritage, and really the leader of this team.
And again, we talk about recruiting, and you go where the players are. Players finding their way to SEC towns. Rachel Lawson has never been shy about going off to get talent. She does have some homegrown talent, a lot of it this year on her ball club. Probably as much as she's ever had. Softball really, as you know, Carol, picking up in the state of Kentucky. And Humes finishes with another strikeout as she did in inning number 1. So we'll go to the bottom of the second. It's Kentucky 4, Mississippi State nothing, as Humes is rolling for the Wildcats here on the SEC Network. Back in Lexington, Dick Gabriel, Carroll Bruggeman, Kentucky 4, Mississippi State nothing. The Wildcats hang up 4 unearned runs in the first inning. And now they're putting all kinds of pressure on MSU as Bailey Vick, the junior, stands in and a threat to bunt, to slap, or punch it over the infield.
Yeah, the infield has to play very tight against Bailey Vick. Short game specialist, bunt, slap. You can see all of the Mississippi State infielders inside the baseline trying to pick the ball up as quick as possible. It's really a foot race. Slapper, bunters trying to use the ground. The longer the ball's on the ground, the greater chance of success. So Mississippi State has to minimize that, pinch the infield in.
Keep in mind the first baseman has to retreat to the bag, which is always a challenge.
You know, a lot of defenses, sometimes they leave the first baseman back no matter what, and they have the pitcher-catcher field that bunt down the first baseline. In this case, Sarai knew, we saw how effective she was with the bunt. Bunt goes down, she will come charge. You also have Heinberger, second base, who's very quick, so she can get over to first base. But you're absolutely right, that's a tough zone, especially with a left-handed pitcher on the mound.
Well, in fact, New already has fielded a bunt tonight on the sac bunt laid down by Abby Cheek. And Heinberger got over to first base in plenty of time. You can obviously tell how many times they've worked on that in practice. Now another conference as Grace Fagan falls behind again. 3 balls, no strikes. That's something that plagued her early in this game, if you're just joining us. She settled down and actually made the pitches that she needed to make. Bulldogs made an error behind her that opened the door for those unearned runs. Swan came in on a single by Mallory Payton. Next batter up, Katie Reed, cranked one into the next county. So a 3 balls, no strikes. Fagan delivers.
Leadoff walk last inning for Fagan equaled 4 runs by the time the inning was over. And last thing she wants to do is put one of the fastest base runners in Kentucky's team on first via the walk.
Bailey Vick with a hitter's count and thought she had reached first base.
Yeah, it's a nice off-speed pitch here by Fagan. Takes a little bit off this pitch, stays down in the zone, catches Vick off guard. She thinks it's too low, but look at Davidson working hard, tucking that head behind the ball. Textbook back there by one of the best catchers in the country.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Comes back to strike her out. Vick was up 3-0 in that count, so a lot of credit to Grace Fagan.
Shows us a lot about Fagan. First inning gave in, 4 straight balls. Shaper drew the walk. This time got behind 3-0, comes back. This is just a lot of juice on it after throwing the off-speed pitch. Vick way behind the ball. That's a big strikeout for Fagan.
Brings up Lauren Johnson, the designated player tonight for the Wildcats, with a .339 average. Not a bad hitter to have in the 9-hole at .339, starting her 24th game. 6 doubles on the year, a couple of home runs, 11 walks, so a potent offensive player in the 9-hole. And again, Fagan gets the edge as the lefty runs it away from the left-hander.
Well, Coach Studeman talked a lot about Fagan's spin and movement on the ball, just that she had a lot of it, and we're seeing that as she settles in. That ball's bending and breaking several inches across the plate.
Hit it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Kentucky hitters will have to adjust, learn to go with that pitch on the left-handed box. Tried to get her to fish, but still a good pitch.
And tracking the ball. If you're facing a pitcher that has a lot of movement and a lot of spin, you've got to really track that thing all the way in.
1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Fagan just missing, and it's full now on Lauren Johnson. Lauren, the sophomore from Owensboro, Davis County High School. That'll stay in the infield. Heimberger with the easy play. 2 outs.
Once again, Fagan not giving in. Got to a 3-ball count, just kept fighting and fighting. Struck out the first batter, and Vic comes back, draws the pop-up with Johnson. Much better pace, much better efficiency this inning. Good adjustments for the freshman in the circle.
But now she faces Jenny Shaper again. Walked Jenny on 4 pitches last time. Jenny thrown out at the plate trying to score on a ground ball. That was the second out of the inning, and it looked like State might have gotten out of that mess, but doors open. Wildcats began to run across home plate.
One of the favorite stats in the game for me as a coach was 2-out RBIs.
Yeah.
You got to earn them.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing else to say about it. You have to earn it. Kentucky had all 4 of their runs scored with 2 outs. All were earned. You know, they hit the ball.
Yeah.
Unearned runs eventually, but
Right.
But earned the hit. Peyton
right.
with the hit,
Legit.
Reed with a home run, and you just love that with the 2-out RBIs. If you go back and look throughout the season, you see how many 2-out RBIs you have. Usually it determines, you know, how your year is gone.
What is it about innings where you walk the leadoff batter and just bad things happen?
So true.
Off the end of the bat, now again a foot race and a running throw, nicely done by Robinson. And a good inning for the Bulldogs. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across for the Wildcats. 4-0 Kentucky on the SEC Network. Welcome back to John Kropp Stadium, where it is Cancer Awareness Weekend, Carol, and this was a big moment just before the game.
Oh, it sure was for Coach Studeman last year. Mississippi State and Alex Wilcox. You see Coach Studeman wearing number 8. Fought ovarian cancer all season long, was a member of the Mississippi State team, passed away this summer, and they can't honor Wilcox's legacy enough. She was an emotional leader for this team. They still talk about her every day. They have a mural and call her their little soldier, their little angel. And, you know, it's still very raw for them. I mean, they don't want it to be taboo not to talk about her. They want to honor her legacy daily. And, you know, Coach Studeman will say sometimes she'll look up and they'll be honoring her on the scoreboard and she just loses it. And the next time she just smiles with pride. And that she is a source of inspiration for this Mississippi State team.
Montana Davidson at the plate. And you can see the teal socks that the Wildcat players are wearing, and at the plate they wear teal helmets in honor of Cancer Awareness Weekend and Alex Wilcox. You see the teal belt as well. Montana, the older sister of Mia Davidson. Pretty good gene pool right there, Coach.
I'll say. You know, it's like double trouble right
Yeah.
there. Probably have throughout their high school career and club ball career, and now here they are in a Mississippi State uniform. And Coach Van Studeman talks a lot about the fact how close they are. They work in the hitting cages tirelessly. Even on their off days, they go together and hit and really inspire each other. Get a good look at Coach Studeman. He's done an outstanding job with this Mississippi State program.
19 wins in 24 games so far. Montana Davidson with a pop-up. And there's one out. 5 straight retired now by Humes. And it's 6 straight.
One out for the Bulldogs, shortstop, 0-0, Bevier Robinson.
Brings up Bevier Robinson, number 9 hitter. And again, some punch at the bottom of the order. 318 average. Starting her 16th game out of Harvest, Alabama. Couple of doubles, a triple. And again, the slapper. Speedy from the left side.
Kind of been nursing a hamstring injury, is back from that, but she's been struggling with that the last couple weeks. And, you know, any sprinter that's struggling with a hamstring, that's tough.
Yep, especially in weather like this.
No question. And she's battled back, and she's a spark plug for this team in this 9-hole. You know, her numbers right there, not showing her ability, but she is a fantastic. She's like lightning in a bottle a little bit when she's healthy.
Career stolen base percentage, 92%, but she chases the rise ball, and that's strikeout number 3, Broadham Humes.
With 2 outs for Mississippi State.
Humes very efficient tonight. You know, we're almost through the lineup here, and 1 hit to show for it.
Yep.
She has just been extremely efficient. commanding all of her pitches, finding the strike zone. She's going to go upstairs, which we haven't seen a whole lot from Humes, but she's showing you all the tools in her toolbox. And that's tough for Mississippi State. When you have to stretch your eyes through all parts of the zone, it makes it very difficult as a hitter.
Top of the order, Emily Heimberger bounced to short her first time up. Has started every game so far this season, splitting time between second and right field. From Pawleys Island, South Carolina. Has a 4-game hitting streak. Average up to 265. Chases another strikeout for Autumn Humes, and another 1-2-3 inning for the Wildcats. Nothing across for Mississippi State. Autumn Humes is tough tonight. 4-0 Wildcats. 4-0 the Wildcats with 4 in the first, and that's all we've seen so far offensively. Kentucky going back to work with number 2 hitter in the lineup, Kayla Kowalik to Gabriel Carroll Bruggeman on a brisk, windy evening here in Lexington. And there's a good look at the teal helmets we were telling you about in honor of Alex Wilcox. Kayla reached on an error by the shortstop in the first inning. Bounced into what looked like might be at least a double play, if not just a fielder's choice, but that's what opened the gate for the big inning. Carroll talked about the 4 runs with 2 outs. And Grace Fagan evens things up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ten-game hitting streak for Kayla Kowalik, the freshman. 6 multi-hit games on the season. You got a freshman who can come in and put a hitting streak like that together, Coach.
Yeah, she's just... Coach Lawson's so excited about Kowalik. She's a triple threat at the plate. She can bunt, slap, power slap, runs well, can steal bases, stretch doubles into triples, etc. And then she plays different positions on the field. I think what's so impressive about Kowalik, she never played outfield before in her career. Didn't even play in the fall here at Kentucky. Wow. She's really a catcher by trade. She's the heir apparent to Jenny Shaper behind the plate, but they needed her in the lineup, so she's been in center field most of the year, and she just gets better and better in the outfield every game.
370 average. She's driven in 15. Fagan struggling now. Struggled early, but not to the point where Davidson had to leap to pull the pitches in.
Sometimes that happens. You overthrow as a pitcher. Just got to stay within yourself. Rein it back in a little bit.
But issues the walk to Kayla Kowalik, 6 of 7 in the steals department this year. For the Wildcats, who had seen 4 straight batters retired, now put the leadoff runner aboard, and again, Coach, you walk the leadoff hitter.
And you walk one of the fastest base runners on the team, but you've got Mia Davidson behind the plate. You're seeing 2 of the best catchers in the SEC tonight. We are halfway through the season, and against Mia Davidson, Jenny Shaper on the other side, the other teams haven't even got to double-digit steals yet. So Davidson's throwing out base runners. Shaper's throwing out base runners. You would think in a game like this, both teams have high-powered offenses, and they do steal a lot of bases offensively, but both teams have quite the stopper behind the plate, and Mia Davidson, Mississippi State side, and Jenny Shaper on the Kentucky side. If you can get a stolen base tonight, you've done something.
You've earned it. The other thing is you don't want to take the bat out of this young lady's hands. Abby Cheek laid down a sac bunt, the power hitter on this team. Last time up, laid down a sac bunt. She's also drawn 21 walks to go with her 5 homers, 23 runs batted in, 459 average. Discipline at the plate. Davidson does a great job of keeping that ball in front of her.
So quick, such a complete player, on the top 50 watch list for the Collegiate Player of the Year right now. Just hit the ground running last year in the SEC, set it on fire, Freshman of the Year. And again, this year teams have only stolen 7 bases against this team. It's just she is a difference maker behind the plate. The pitchers love throwing to her. Why not? She's a difference maker.
Runner goes. They won't have the double play, so on the hit and run, the Wildcats with a runner in scoring position now. So once again, Abby Cheek moves the runner, not the way she intended, but she gets the job done.
Oh, still a productive out. She tries to pull this ball. It's on the outside part of the plate, so she doesn't get it square. But still a productive out. As you mentioned, a hit and run by Kowalik. Hesitated a little bit, didn't know where the ball was right away. But a productive out. You moved the base runner into scoring position.
Quality at bat for Abby Cheek, sets up Alex Martins. Off the glove again of the pitcher, and another 1-4-3 defensive play. And Wildcats are saying that she didn't hold the ball long enough, but first base umpire Liz Hammerschmidt says yes, indeed she did, and Rachel Lawson's not going to take that sitting down.
Now Martins gets a good piece of this ball. It's up high in the zone. It gets enough of Fagan. And it's a tight play, but Sarai New is bobbling the ball, and I'm sure these umpires will get together and talk about it. Especially they'll turn to the home plate umpire, Steve Gould, to make sure he can get a good look at it. But clearly the ball is never caught by Sarai New.
Great camera work by our folks, and that
umpires
shows.
Will get together, talk about it.
Yeah. Not only did New never have it or never control it, she never had it.
A credit to the officiating crew here. Nobody's perfect, and you can't get every call right, and that's why credit to this officiating crew for getting together, getting the call right. And clearly Martins is back at first base. New never had control of that ball. Error on the first baseman.
Second error of the night for the Bulldogs. Now they're at the corners with one out for Mallory Payton. And again, the Wildcats take advantage of another error by the Bulldogs. Boy, Mississippi State, coach, these are routine, am I right?
Uncharacteristic. Nothing's routine till the play is made, as I used to like to say, but yes, these are plays Mississippi State is making every day. Now, I will say Gels is new in the lineup. She replaces Robertson, and it's a little different pace on the throw. Robinson may throw a little harder, Gels a little slower, but it's been catching the ball. Both of these errors have been on receiving the ball, and these throws have not been poor throws. No. So the error on New, the error on Heinberger, you're absolutely right. Majority of the time, they're going to be able to catch that ball. So uncharacteristic, sloppy play here from Mississippi State.
Gels had entered the game at the top of this inning, or at the beginning of this inning, at shortstop for Robinson. And once again, Mississippi State with what looked like a double play ball.
Your attention now running for Kentucky.
Now a runner for the Wildcats.
14, J.C. Babbs.
J.C. Babbs is going to run.
Now batting for the Cats, your shortstop.
That brings up Katie Reed with a run in and one out. And they're at first and second.
You take a look at the scoreboard right now, and Kentucky has 5 runs. They only have 2 hits.
Yeah.
And, but the 3 on the board there, the errors of Mississippi State's really been the difference in this game. The leadoff walks combined with the errors from the Mississippi State defense, and then timely hitting, some 2-out hitting by the Cats.
And one of those, a 3-run homer by this batter, Katie Reed. Her last time up went deep over the left field wall. And again, it gets away from Davidson. So another wild pitch. Second of the game. Fagan now struggling a bit. She's not pitched poorly. She has struggled at times with control, but Wildcats have not hit a fly ball to an outfielder yet. Everything's either been popped up or on the ground. Reed out ahead of it into the bat. 382 average now after her 4th home run. Katie just swinging an incredible bat this week. Tore up the pitching. And against Miami and Syracuse early in the week.
Oh, she's typically been in the leadoff spot, 2 spot most of her career, finds herself in the 6th spot and doing an excellent job of driving runs in.
That's hammered, straightaway center, goodbye. Another home run by Katie Reed, a 3-run shot, and the Wildcats are breaking this open. 6 runs batted in for Katie Reed. 5 home runs now on the year for Katie Reed. Drove it over Kat Moore's head.
Okay, for Katie Reed right now, the ball looks like a beach ball coming in, just squaring the ball up solid. She is on time, driving through the ball. Swing looks effortless. Left field, her first at bat. Dead center field this time. Timely hitting by Katie Reed. A lot of power in that 6th spot in the lineup right now.
8-0 Wildcats. Their second 4-run inning in 3 frames. Sarah Rainwater trying to bunt her way on. And again, more unearned runs. Leadoff batter walks. 2 errors on what looked like routine plays. Keep in mind, Mississippi State with enough power to get back in a game quickly. But the Bulldogs need to help Fagan. She's made those 2 mistakes, both to Katie Reed. And keep in mind the play that was reversed by the officials earlier this inning. You talked about great communication by the umpires and a tip of the cap to the plate umpire, Steve Gould, for paying attention to that play. That's part of his job, is to make sure that play is clean at first to back up that first base umpire.
Yep, like to see officiating crews. They work hard, they train hard, and you know, they have the same goals in mind. They want a fair game and they want to get the calls right, and a lot of credit to that crew for getting it done. And you know, the Mississippi State has just the wheels have come off a little bit for them early in the game here, between falling behind in the count, too many walks out there by the freshman Fagan, and Coach Van Studeman leaving her in the game. You know, there's a couple thoughts behind that. Number one, hey, they got to get on the board and get back in this game before she wants to show Kentucky the rest of her pitching staff. She's got 2 more games here this weekend, and they're certainly not out of this one yet. They can put a lot of runs up on the board in a hurry as well.
And Fagan is capable of coming back with a pitch like that. So she catches Sarah Rainwater looking. Second out of the inning. Second strikeout. Good pitch.
Tucks this pitch right inside on Sarah Rainwater, right on the low inside corner. Look at that bend on the ball. Gets good break, freezes Rainwater.
Even if she's swinging, that's tough to hit. Now Bailey Vick struck out her last time up. Bailey right at an even 200. Trying to drag that average up. By the way, these umpires, when the game's over, they want to be forgotten. They don't want anybody to know who worked. That's the goal. That's one of the many goals. Of course, they'll be back tomorrow. 1 ball, 1 strike. And another good pitch that hits the corner against the left-hander by Grace Fagan. Coming into this game, Fagan 34 2/3 innings. She had walked 17. Kind of a high number, but had struck out 31 coming in. And another strikeout to end the inning. But the Wildcats, once again, with a 3-run shot. When we come back, we'll talk to Van Studeman about her young pitcher and a team that's won a lot of games so far this year. That's next on the SEC Network.
Sitting on top of the 4th for the Bulldogs, Davidson, they look like so make sure to head down to the face concourse and get your face painted tonight.
8-0 Kentucky. Dick Gabriel, Carol Bruggeman, joined now by Mississippi State Associate Head Coach Samantha Ricketts down in the Bulldog dugout. Coach, an uncharacteristic start for your ball club based on your record this year. How are things going down there in the dugout right now?
Yeah, definitely not what we wanted, not what we expected out of this team. We just kind of called them together, reminded them, about all the work we put in and what we expect and what we expect from each other, and just really trying to get them back on task to play some Bulldog softball.
Coach, you have the opportunity to coach the young lady up to bat right now, Mia Davidson. What makes her so special?
Oh, man, Mia, she's just a great kid. She's she's a great teammate. She's the hardest worker on the team, which is what you really always want from your best player, and just locked in, really wants to be excellent in her craft and always trying to get better.
Thanks, Coach. Well, good luck the rest of the way and throughout the whole weekend.
Thank you.
Samantha Ricketts, Associate Head Coach for the Bulldogs, and as you heard her say, just reminded the team, this isn't what we're all about. This isn't how we got to be 19-5. As Mia Davidson looks for her second base hit of the evening. And your eyes are not deceiving you now. There's a light rain falling here in Lexington to go along with our wonderful wind and plummeting temperatures. So players digging in against the elements. Mia's average up to 556. Good pitch by Humes to run it in on her fists.
Oh, you look at a score through 3 innings and 8-0. You say, well, why is this happening? Kentucky only has 3 hits,
yep.
But 2 have been home runs, 3-run home runs. So, but you look at the pitchers and the efficiency. Humes has thrown 36 pitches coming into this inning, 29 strikes. Fagan, 69 pitches, 37 strikes. So Humes doing a good job of being very efficient as she gets Davidson on the first out.
And ran it in on her fists again. That's a tough pitch for anybody to handle, and a good pitch by the right-hander.
Especially on a night like tonight, the ball's breaking through the zone. It's not breaking early and breaking late. It's breaking the entire time. And, well, that's a very difficult pitch for a power hitter. They want to get their hands out and get extended, and Davidson not able to do that.
So now Faye Lalua will try to do the same thing. Another powerful hitter. 12 home runs, 33 runs batted in. And there you see she doesn't get cheated at the plate with a cut like that. Every time she has hit a home run this year, the Bulldogs, it seems, well, I'll put it to you this way, they're 10-0 when she hits a home run. 3rd in the conference, 4th in D1 softball with those 12.
Well, sometimes the toughest position to hit in Fa'alelua here, just when you're hitting behind Mia Davidson, it's a lot of times Davidson is going to get walked. Everybody in the country knows about her and her power numbers. #1 in the country in home runs.
Yep.
So the hitter behind the hitter, so to speak, is so important. Fa'alelua has been so productive, as has Kat Moore in the on-deck circle.
Well, Kat Moore leads the SEC in triples and is 4th nationally. So you talk about a murderer's row when the Bulldogs have it going. So many ways to hurt you offensively, but trying to dig out of an 8-0 hole right now. Largely of their own doing. Off the end of the bat, Bailey Vick broke back. Now going out is Katie Reed. Heads up play by the shortstop.
And she catches the ball in left field.
Yep.
Just showing you her range. She's hit 2 home runs. And oh, by the way, she's an exceptional defensive player as well. Just named as one of the top 30 finalists for the Senior Class Award. So excellent in the classroom. You see her go to left field, made that play look easy. She went a long way to catch that ball.
And you can't blame Bailey Vick for breaking back when Faye Lalua swings. But had she been left to catch that pop-up, it would have been a great catch. It was a nice play by Katie Reed, but Vick had a long way to go. Now Kat Moore, we mentioned how fast she is. Specializing in triples. Humes with a big deep breath. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Kat Moore. You see her numbers. Not just a triples generator, but home runs as well. Holly Springs, Mississippi, out of Marshall Academy, the senior. Again, a foot race, just way too fast, Coach. And the ball was hit perfectly, basically.
Wow, and it's kind of a mishit ball there by Moore, but with her speed, she has tremendous speed on the base pass. Watch how long this ball is on the ground. It's really a foot race between Moore and can Martins even get to the ball.
Yep.
And Moore is so fast and calling herself safe again. She knew she was there with a little head lean, but she's an exciting player to watch.
So she strikes out in the first inning, but keeps the fourth inning alive with an infield single, and Candace Dennis sends it down the left field line, but Bailey Vick broke perfectly on that fly ball, and that'll do it for the Bulldogs. Coming up, we'll talk to Rachel Lawson, the Kentucky head coach. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Wildcats lead at 8-0 on the SEC Network. Back in Lexington, Dick Gabriel, Carol Bruggeman, joined now by Rachel Lawson, and Coach Katie Reed is just seeing the ball like very few players in the country right now, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's had a great, last week, and then today, obviously, with the 2 home runs, and she really broke this open. She's doing an exceptional job.
Coach, you've got a very deep pitching staff this year. They've all been effective in their own way. Talk about the decision to go with Humes tonight and her performance so far.
Well, Autumn's such a big game pitcher, and she's doing a great job spinning the ball and moving it around, and she can go both up, down, and she can change speed. So this is such an awesome hitting team over there that we want to make sure that they don't barrel up on too many balls.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Rachel Lawson, the winningest coach in Kentucky history. Her team leading 8-0 right now here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Katie Reed has tied the UK record for home runs in a game with 2. 33 other times it has happened, most recently by Abby Cheek and Alex Martins. That happened last year at Tennessee, and she has tied the record for runs batted in a game with 6. Nikki Sagerman, Griffin Joyner, Leslie Fiatkovsky, Brooke Marnitz, and Rachel Riley. Most recently, Sagerman and Joyner did it during the 2013 season. So Katie Reed is having a career in one night, it seems.
Oh, she sure is.
Lauren Johnson trying to find her way on. Hopped out to second, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. Wind might have helped that second home run, Coach, but she really tagged it.
And she hit it to the deepest part of the park.
Good pitch by Fagan on the outer edge, a lot of movement. And if I'm not mistaken, I mentioned the pop-ups. Other than the home runs, no fly balls for the Wildcats, so Vegas has made them hit the ball on the ground. Defense has failed her 3 different times, and they've all hurt, plus hurt herself with the walks.
One of those games from Mississippi State where you're trying to turn the corner, shift the mojo, shift the momentum, have something good happen.
Great pitch by Fagan.
I'm just very impressed with her movement on the ball. She certainly has thrown too many pitches here tonight. As you mentioned, a few walks. But you take a look at that movement on the ball, that curve ball, little drop curve there, breaking 2 different planes. She has the potential to be a very good pitcher. Tall, long levers, left-handed, drives the ball, can throw it through the zone. Last year when she came in, or when she was in high school, she hadn't had to throw a lot of pressure pitches, and now she's having to throw a lot more of those pressure pitches.
Top of the order, Jenny Shaper at the plate. 4 strikeouts now for Fagan. Jenny with 5 homers, a walk, and she's grounded out tonight. Jenny also seeing the ball well this week. What's interesting is the home run hitters for the Wildcats, at least this week, Reed and Shaper, are not huge people, but their hands are so quick. Bat speed is what allows them to drive the ball.
And just so strong.
Yep.
Their lower half is, very strong, very powerful. They're on time, they're on plane, and swinging the bat with a lot of confidence. It's been fun to watch their career. I watched them play all through club ball together. They're both from the St. Louis area, played for the St. Louis Chaos, very strong travel ball team, club ball team, and now they've played 4 years here at Kentucky, and they've just outstanding young ladies. as well as great athletes.
2 of the 5 seniors who call themselves the grandmas on this team. And Rachel Lawson says that group has meant everything to this ball club this year with the leadership, not just the way they play. I said, you like the grandmas, don't you? She said, oh, yeah. But Fagan, that one rose.
Well, she has struck out 4 batters in a row.
Yep.
She is a completely different pitcher, and toward the middle of this game, look at that movement on the ball. She's throwing the ball hard. You can see what she is capable of doing. She has turned it up a notch and settled in. It is very difficult. You're throwing your first SEC game, you're a freshman on the mound. You're facing a team that's ranked in the top 20 in the country, and a few nerves early in the game. Her defense did not play well behind her initially. A couple big hits by Kentucky, but she has settled in, and it has been fun to watch her when she is spinning the ball and finding the strike zone.
Now Kayla Kowalik reached on an error, walked, and has scored 2 runs. That error in the first left the gate open. Led off with that walk, and as Carol and I talked about, bad things happen when the leadoff batter walks. Good stop by Geltz. Boy, she made that throw where she was falling to her knees, but still fired a strike and a good inning for the Bulldogs. Fagan, 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. 4 in the books, 8-0 Kentucky on the SEC Network. 8-0 Wildcats over the Bulldogs. A good crowd here despite the weather, and this one may be cut a little short, Coach. Mississippi State needs a run.
Yeah, their backs are against the wall. We have the 8-run rule in effect after 5 innings. Kentucky's only had to hit 4 of them so far tonight, but Mississippi State has to get a run across the board or the game is over and the Cats are going to get another SEC win. Got a little timeout here from Coach Lawson.
Up 8-0. What do you think they're going to talk about?
Not really sure what Coach Lawson's talking about right here.
Could it be, hey, let's shut them out here and get back to the clubhouse?
I would think they, the last 2 games have been run rule victories, so I think they're well versed in that. Not really sure. Maybe something she saw in Hume's warm-up, wanted to go out and talk to her a little bit, or just talk to her whole team about, how they want to play this particular, bottom part of the lineup here, which also has a lot of power from Mississippi State.
Carter Spexarth, to lead things off, popped out to second base. When you saw that shot of the crowd, you saw the blankets and the jackets, but you saw a lot of kids, and one of the reasons is on Friday nights here at John Kropp Stadium, after the game, the kids get to run the bases. They don't know it's that cold. They're going to have a good time. And you see some of the fans here at the ballpark, named after the great John Kropp. There's an opposite field single dumped in by Carter Spexarth. So leadoff batter reaches for the Bulldogs for the first time tonight.
Well, there will be no quit in this Mississippi State team. That is one thing Coach Van Studeman talked about and learned a lot from Alex Wilcox about that. Not even a full swing there from Spexarth. Just stuck her bat out, but had a lot of bat speed to the ball and flared it into right field. We're going to see a pinch runner.
We are indeed. That's Anna Kate Seegers from Moulton, Alabama, a freshman. And now Sarai New, the veteran first baseman, senior. This is how much softball she's played for Mississippi State. She has more than 1,000 career putouts. Just the 5th in Bulldog history to log that many putouts over a career. Been a consistently strong defensive player. She's made 2 nice defensive plays tonight. Has made 1 error, but a .274 average. Wildcats looking to turn their 20th double play of the year. Boy, Hughes just blew that by her.
Yeah, they turned 5 double plays in the South Carolina sweep, 3-game sweep. And that's just unheard of. You might get a double play, line drive double play, or, sometimes roll in a double play, but to have 5 true rolled double plays in the infield.
They get the lead runner on the nice throw by Katie Reed. And there's one out. Boy, you talk about range and an arm.
And what made that play is how quick she got the ball out of her glove. She had to go very far into the 5-6 hole here to even get to the ball, but look how quickly it gets up into her throwing hand and out of her throwing hand, and that is the difference. There's so many things that make Katie Reed special on the infield, and her range, her ability to get rid of the ball quickly, her strong arm. She's really a five-tool player, can bunt her way on base. We've seen her hit 2 home runs tonight. A lot of the fans here at Kentucky will miss watching her play next season. I know Coach Lawson talks about it all the time, and she and I joked about it. I've known Katie a long time. When I was coaching at Louisville, recruited her as well, and still consider her and her family just, good relationship with all of them. And Coach Lawson and I talk about that all the time. You believe Katie's a senior, you better enjoy her this year, and I know we're enjoying her tonight.
Jamie Gregg will run now for the Bulldogs, a freshman from Hoover, Alabama, outside Birmingham. With one out, and Montana Davidson at the plate, popped out to second base her last time up. Older sister of Mia Davidson. And she puts a charge into one. Got her. Outstanding defensive play by Kea Kowalik. The force play from center field. That's how hard Davidson hit the ball. And Kowalik makes the pickup like an infielder.
A tough play for Gray, the base runner, kind of holding, gets caught in between. In case she catches the ball, she goes in hard, but Kowalik showing you her athleticism. Remember, she didn't play the outfield until this spring of her freshman year. She's a catcher, but showing you her athleticism, gets rid of the ball, and an excellent stretch by Alex Martins, who's 6 foot tall out there and acts like a first baseman, gets on the center field side of second base, and that's a huge assist for the center fielder.
Went out to try to counsel the officials, but instead she's telling them about a substitution. I got to think that she went out to ask about that play as well, but making another change. Grace Dabbs now, a sophomore, will run. She's from Philadelphia, Mississippi. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything from the Wildcats tonight. Outstanding pitching by Humes, power hitting by Katie Reed, and now outstanding defense. And you were just bragging on the adjustments Kowalik's had to make.
And part of this defense at Kentucky that Coach Lawson really felt like at South Carolina, they had all 3 phases of their game clicking, and we've seen that tonight, as you just mentioned. Pitching, offense, defense, all working together. Timely hitting, timely pitching, key plays on defense. This Kentucky team played one of the toughest schedules in the country in the non-conference season, and it is paying off for them right now as they're playing some good softball.
Kinsey Geltz batting for the first time tonight, and she pops it up. This could do it. Abby Cheek makes the grab, and the Wildcats run rule Mississippi State. Carroll, game did not go the way we thought, but that's what happens in the SEC.
This complete domination by Kentucky. Autumn Humes with another good outing. Her defense played solid behind her, and Katie Reed with tying the RBI record, single game record for Kentucky, was the difference.
2 3-run bombs by Katie Reed as the